There's no one picture of what fatherhood looks like in the world of organized crime when a son follows his father into the family business, or makes an attempt at the very least. That's what today's video is about. Fatherhood in the world of organized crime on The Sopranos.
You should see the crowd of little people. Jackie Jr., how you doing, huh? You look great. Hey, Jackie, tell him what you told me in the car on the way over here. Come on, capital of Canada. Come on, Dad. The kid's got it up here.
His son, Jackie Aprile Jr., wanted to follow in his father's footsteps. He wanted to be a member of the mafia, and he really wanted to follow in his father's footsteps when he decided to try to knock up a card game in season 3.
And I gotta give your father credit for this. He had balls as big as an Irish broad's ass. We had this Saturday night card game, and your father sees this as our big chance to step up to the A-League.
That pretty much ended Jackie Aprile Jr.'s story. But for what it's worth, we only see a couple of scenes with him and his father in flashbacks. But there's one that we see during Christmas where his father seems like a nice dad. And then we also hear his dad talking about how
Staying home this year so Jackie can study for his SATs. You know, Ro found him a great tutor.
And sadly, I think that if Jackie Aprile Sr. had still been living, Jackie Aprile Jr. wouldn't have died, because he wouldn't have gotten it in his head to do something like that.
Anthony, I told you to wait in the car.
What, your father never cut off anybody's pinky?
Johnny Boy Soprano looms large in Tony's psyche. Tony tries to emulate him while also resenting him. We see their relationship play out through dreams, memories, and flashbacks.
You want to ride up front?
No, Dad, I'm fine.
Showing how Tony's inner turmoil is shaped by a man who never really taught him to love, only how to fear, and how to instill fear.
Dinner's ready.
Come here. Disobeyed your old man, and I ought to give it a belt. A lot of boys your age would have run like a little girl. But you stayed.
Tony's panic attacks, his issues with control, even his relationship with AJ, all of it stems in part from Johnny Boy's shadow.
Good for you, Johnny. What's up, Rocco?
My son is doomed, right? But I'll tell you something, I was proud to be Johnny Soprano's kid.
Do you think that's how your son feels about you?
Yeah, probably. I'm glad if he's proud of me. But that's the bind I'm in, because I don't want him to be like me.
And yet there's a part of Tony that still wants his father's approval, still feels like he has to live up to his father's name, even in death.
When I was, 16 years old, my son's age, I came home from school and there was this note. My mother had been pregnant.
Johnny Boy Soprano knows that his wife is in the hospital, bleeding, probably miscarrying, but I guess he wanted Fran's pork chops. So he doesn't go to the hospital until the next morning. And then he makes Tony lie about it on the spot to his mother's face.
We had to stay at Cousin Jimmy's. Ask Anthony, you don't believe me.
Guy in there killed your father. Barry Haydu, detective, lieutenant in the Clifton Police Force. Retired today.
Now, I personally think that Tony's full of shit here, but in Christopher's eyes, Tony gives him a name to kill. That's who he's gonna kill. Like he said, it doesn't matter. He wants you dead. Tony sort of mythologizes Dickie and makes it like he was this larger-than-life man whom everyone looked up to and respected. But then at the end, Christopher calls him out on it.
So my dad? You obviously must have knew he had a crutch. Come on, Tone, huh? Between the coke, the vodka, whatever the fuck else he was squirting up his arm, let's be honest about the great Dickie Moltisanti. My dad, your hero. Wasn't much more than a fucking junkie.
Even if Dickie did do drugs, that doesn't necessarily mean that Tony wouldn't have looked up to him, not because he did drugs, but despite that fact. It's tough to separate fact from fiction in terms of hearing stories about his dad and from Tony of all people. But I just wanted to note that I think what Christopher's calling out here isn't necessarily how bad his dad was, but how much of a hypocrite Tony was.
You put your sunblock on?
Carmine Lupertazzi Sr. was the boss of the Lupertazzi crime family for many years, and his son, Carmine Lupertazzi Jr., aka Little Carmine, stayed down in Florida for the most part. Live from Miami Beach.
You distracted me. I'm taking a mulligan. Real hardhead, this Soprano kid. And the ego. I tell you though, when I first met him, decisive as he is, I would have been proud to call him my own son.
I think this was Carmine Sr. playing mind games with little Carmine by saying how he'd be proud to call Tony his own son. But just a side note, according to people like Tony, Carmine was brainless the second. His father, on the other hand, was not known for being brainless. Quite the opposite, which is probably why he stayed in power for so long under a relatively peaceful reign. Carmine was smart, he knew how to compromise, and he also seemed to care about his family.
Let's get started. My daughter-in-law is coming in with the baby later. My son was a big help in all this. I want you always to remember that.
And I think he may have passed that down to his son more than many of us initially expected. But at the end of the day, little Carmine's father helped him realize that it really wasn't about being boss. It was about being happy.
So what? There's no stigmata these days. My kid saw a shrink. He got court ordered for that thing with his wife. They're very happy now.
It may have come in a dream, but I can't help but feel like Carmine also felt that from his father when he was alive. And perhaps that's why it felt so powerful to him in the dream.
That dream with my father, the empty box, wasn't about being boss. It's about being happy.
Come here, you. Let me look at you. Hey, come here.
Bobby Baccalieri didn't make his first kill until the final season, while his father, on the other hand, was known as the Terminator for how many guys he'd taken out. So Tony gives him someone else's name the next time he's in town, Mustang Sally.
Now, come to think of it, you never popped your cherry in that regard, right?
No.
Yeah, your old man was the fucking Terminator.
They come close. No. My pop never wanted it for me. He said there were times with all the worry. He wished he could have just stayed in the shop full time.
So here we have the Terminator, the father, and the son, who feels like the farthest thing from the Terminator. Was it nature? Nurture? I feel like these instances of fatherhood here that I've spoken about, where the son either follows his father's footsteps into the same business or wants to follow in his father's footsteps, there's no one clear variable that determines what the son is going to be like or where they're going to end up. We have Johnny Boy Soprano, Carmine Lupertazzi Sr., Bobby Baccalieri Sr., Jackie Aprile Sr., and Dickie Moltisanti, the father who was never really known by the son. Thanks for watching. What do you think about these examples here?